Oregon State has a new head basketball coach, former Montana head man Wayne Tinkle. He's a guy that I know pretty well. I covered him for 2 years when I was a sports anchor in Missoula. Earlier this week, I went one-on-one with Tinkle to discuss his plans for the Beavers. Here's part one of my sit-down with Wayne Tinkle. It's weird for me to be doing this interview here in Corvallis, Oregon, instead of in Missoula, Montana. And I was only in Missoula for 2 years covering you. You'd been there for the past 13 years. You played for the University of Montana. How does it feel for you to be at Oregon State instead of at Montana?
Well, it's very exciting, but I'd be lying if I didn't say it was an emotional decision. Our heart and soul in Missoula, Montana, the people, the memories, the friendships that we're leaving behind, and more importantly, the players. But they understand. They understand that it would take a special place to draw me away. The ones that I've been able to connect with are really excited for our future and the adventure that we have here in front of us.
What is it about this place that took you away from what was essentially your home?
The people, hands down. At first, there wasn't a lot of interest, and then as I had more folks contact me about the potential here, and I learned that, like Missoula, the strength of Oregon State University and Corvallis are the people, and you look at the success other programs have had. They're being done with great people, high character, and then you see the momentum that's kind of going a little bit with the new facilities, the character of the young recruits. It really got us excited, and the more we investigated, the more we were sold.
During the hiring process, the names that were floated out for this job before you were Ben Howland, Damon Stoudemire, people that Beaver fans are familiar with. When you got hired, a lot of Beaver Nation, so to speak, I think said, who's Wayne Tinkle? So who is Wayne Tinkle? What do you want Beaver fans to know about you?
Well, thanks for bringing that up, first of all. No, what you're going to see are the same things that I think people saw in Missoula. High character, doing things the right way. I tell people that I'm an every person. That's everybody. We include everyone. Every day, we're gonna go at it with how hard we work, and every play means we won't take a possession off or a moment off. Once people get to know me a little bit, they'll see that I'm gonna eat and sleep and breathe that day in and day out, and they'll see it happen fast.
What are your teams gonna look like on the court?
Well, there's nobody that's gonna play harder than us or more disciplined or more together. That's what we're gonna sell it on. At Montana, that was probably the most proud compliment that I got was when people called from my peers around the country and asked, what do you do to get your guys to play so damn hard every day? And that's where we're going to start. We're going to be a disciplined program, and it's not just when we're on the court. It's going to be everything we do every day. And then we're going to be more together. You've got to have great chemistry. And if you add those three things, you mix some good players in, you're going to enjoy success.
Before Monday, before you got this job, I think when people Google your name, the first thing that came up was Wayne Tinkle, sexiest man in college basketball.
You had to go there. You had to go there.
You have to go there. What's it like being the sexiest man in college basketball?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't put a lot of credibility into that deal. I think my family made up the committee, but we've had a lot of fun with it. My chops have been busted pretty good, far and wide, from both family and friends, and if it's something that my wife were to agree with, that'd be great, but I'm not so sure that she does. But we've had some fun with it, but it hasn't won me any games, so it's really just something to joke about, but kind of have had some fun.
You mentioned your wife. You were also called the best basketball playing family in the country by the New York Times. What's it like being the patriarch of such a talented basketball family?
Well, that's where I get so much pleasure from. 2 years ago was the most incredible week. I could probably write a book about that week when we won a game on a Saturday night to clinch hosting the Big Sky tournament. That night, my son and his team won the state championship, and then the following week, our daughters won the respective Pac-12 championship, the WCC championship. So then it led into the Big Sky championship, and they said, Dad, you can't be the only one not to bring home a trophy. So there was some pressure. But then we followed through, and it was just an unbelievable week to share that. It was something special to be a part of.